keeping you company with this midweek fixture. It is the 2023 Copa Paulino Alcantara as we come to you from the historic Rizal Memorial Stadium. It is a must-win today. Will it be Stallion Laguna FC or Tuloy FC? Good afternoon and thank you very much for joining us. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. And this is Caro Manzano on call for this match. Both teams, Stallion and Tuloy, right now are in must-win situations, we could say, as we will take you through the standings. We have the respective squads, of course, of Coach Ernie Nieras and Coach Taki Suzuki. At ayan na po, kita natin kung bakit must-win para sa kanila. Both teams tied for second place, but as of now, it is Stallion with the edge on goal difference with a plus 9 mark. -1 naman po ang goal difference ng Tuloy FC. But here, regardless of goal difference today, whoever gets the win will grab clear hold of second place in the standings of Group C in this tournament. The top two teams again will advance, and the two best third placers will also advance, but finishing third in your group is not a guarantee. Should both teams here finish with a draw, we could say that will favor Stallion and will go against Tuloy because Stallion Laguna have one match on hand. Kita nga natin, dalawang laro pa lang ang Stallion, pero ang Tuloy FC nakatatlo na. So that is how we find ourselves in this situation. Of course, Davao and Mindiola also, you see in the standings, first and fourth place. May chance po sila, or they still have a chance, or they are still clearly in the hunt, as you can see in the standings, in hopes of getting a quarter-final spot. Philippine Army FC and Adamson, unfortunately, are no longer in contention. Adamson, despite that, still have one more game to play, as we will take you through the starting 11 of both teams. Dito muna para sa Stallion Laguna, ang third placers sa last Philippines Football League, two-time bronze medalist sa Copa Paulino Alcantara, and they will be anchored again by Abe Placito and Jordan Jarvis at the back. Matt Nieras will be there again, their team captain, slowly recovering from injury and appears to be all okay. For Stallion Laguna again, it is about getting themselves going because they have the upcoming AFC Cup where they will be representing the Philippines, or it is the first time in club history that Stallion Laguna will be competing in that level. As we take it over to Tuloy FC. Tuloy also an amateur team but clearly established and well-known. Kilalang-kilala po sila. And this squad of Coach Taketomo Suzuki, their Japanese coach, has utmost discipline as we have seen throughout this tournament. And for the first time ngayong tournament, naka 3-5-2 formation po sila. Kasi madalas, kita nga natin, nagpa 4-4-2 po ang team nila. And playing at center back in their 3-5-2 will be Harin de Gracia, Gerald Aquino, and Gian Capistrano. So they do not have their other names with the likes of Rocky Grezola. Let's see how they will be sorting that out. And as expected, Noti Nunez will be their man in the middle. Ngayon, attacking midfielder po siya, at nandun sa kaliwa niya ay si Pato Saot, at sa harap ay si John Lloyd Haliki, isang striker nila. And the question mark here, or something that somewhat surprised us, is we have Levi Sohor, who is playing defensive midfielder despite of him being a striker, as we saw. But let's see how that will unfold later on once the ball is kicked and we get ourselves underway here, as we are closing in on the pre-match walk-in already. And we see at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, it is a cloudy day. We did have some showers and fog early on right here, given that it is the rainy season. And we will run through the goal scorers for the two teams. The leader for Stallion FC are the likes of Finn McDaniel and Yuta Nomura, 3 goals each. And they are ranked third overall in this tournament's Golden Boot race. Dito naman po para sa Tuloy FC, Sila Levi Sohor at si James Demate may 2 goals each po sila at nasa joint 4th place sila this tournament in the Golden Boot race, which has sure been heating up, and we have a great number of log jams in that category, giving us a thrilling fight to the end. We are mentioning that we are only midway through this tournament. Sa assists naman po, ang leader ng Stallion sa kategorya na yon ay si Christian Ivanovsky, isang player nila na may experience sa Americas, the likes of playing the likes of Argentina and Chile in their pro leagues. At sa Tuloy FC naman, ang leader sa assists ay si Pato Saut with 2 assists already in this Copa Paulino Alcantara. And these teams we saw or did see on social media have actually played friendlies against each other and are fine or are very familiar with one another. But at the end, it's down to this, an official match in this open tournament that allows amateur, collegiate, and military teams to square off with our giants from the PFL. And one more thing to point out, of course, is that Tuloy FC did come off a long break. Their last game, from what our records tell us here, was about a month ago already, last July 29. But clearly they stayed sharp, training, and again, as we mentioned, they did get to play at least one friendly or did play a number of friendly matches, and Stallion Laguna is one of the teams they squared off with. Talking about their form here, Stallion Laguna, 2 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. Nanalo po sila 6-1 kontra Army, ang Philippine Army FC. Nanalo po 4-0 versus Davao Aguilas UMAC. Para sa Tuloy FC naman, nanalo sila 3-2 versus Philippine Army FC on opening weekend. Pero natalo sila versus Davao Aguilas UMAC 5-0, although we will get to that earlier because they did show promise despite the scoreline. And right before the long break, they did square off with collegiate side Adamson University and did pick up a 3-0 victory versus versus the Soaring Falcons. Other than their goal scorers, there was Archie Pabelliar, who did hold the fort as their goalkeeper and was named man of the match as he held them in the second half, or held Adamson in the second half en route to a clean sheet. As we are running through our pre-match walk-in at the moment, and we'll take it to the floor for you. And again, this is the 2023 Copa Paulino Alcantara. Back to the back to the continuing coverage of the 2023 Copa Paulino Alcantara as we run through our coin toss and we see our match officials. Si Meliton Pelayo ay ang ating referee. Sila Paul Galicia at Ryan Flores ay ang assistant referee. Sila po ang in charge sa offside. Si Mick John Pineda ay ang fourth official po natin. Si Roberto Hernandez ay ang referee assessor at si Mark Ian Baldo ay ang ating match commissioner. So, the toss coin done and dusted between Stallion Laguna FC Captain Matthew Nieras and Tuloy FC Captain Noti Nunez. Matt Nieras, of course, a veteran of the Philippine football circuit and has been playing professionally for Stallion FC. Noti Nunez, on the other hand, a youngster just like the entire Tuloy FC squad. Pero nakita natin sa AFF Cup, naka senior international caps o appearances po si Nunez. So pwede nga natin sabihin siya ang veterano dito ng Tuloy FC at kay Coach Takitomo Suzuki. As from the looks of it, John Diaz will kick off this match for us. He is currently at the kickoff spot as we are just waiting for the clock to hit 5 o'clock p.m. Philippine Standard Time. At ayan na po, Diaz kicks this match off for us. Naka-asul ang Tuloy FC. They are in blue. Ang Stallion Laguna ay naka-pink at puti. So Tuloy tried to get it going, but there was that press of Stallion that eventually bothered them. And kita nga natin, nakuha ng Laguna ang bola. Jason Pepito, a long-time goalkeeper for them. He has had the confidence of Coach Ernie Nieras and staff. Kay Placito. Placito did play for California Baptist University, the same school that Finn McDaniel attended for about 2 years. Pero kinlaro ni Placito sa akin, hindi sila umabot. Finn McDaniel and A. Placito did not get to play together. When McDaniel was on his way in, Placito was on his way out already. As Tuloy get possession back kay Michael Antilo Jr., kanilang goalkeeper. Bonanken. And we see Stallion with that height advantage, but that through ball for Stallion no good. Some fine-tuning needed there. Well, we see the high press. That is the intention of Stallion. Kita nga natin, paghawak ng Tuloy ng bola, tumatakbo na ang buong Stallion. And as a result, Stallion get this back. Throw in mula kay Nieras kay McDaniel. Throw in para sa Tuloy. McDaniel did not get a great touch to that. Saut, what a force he has been here on the left wing for Coach Taki. As Tuloy eventually win a free kick. There's the foul afterwards between Nunez and Aristorenas. At kanino po kayo rito sa Tuloy FC o Stallion Laguna? Pakilagay na lang sa comment section. Shoutout kay Mau, isang photographer natin. I think off duty siya ngayon. As this one's taken well and out. Sabi ni Larry Del Monte, shoutout kay Captain Balot Doctora Jr. As we saw this taken by Noy Filonco. Unfortunately, Balot Doctora is still nursing an injury in his ankle, and it is highly unlikely he will play today. Tried to get this ball forward. The likes of Jarvis and Nieras contained it. Well, ito set back to Tuloy. Tuloy FC pa rin. Pato Saut kontra Nieras. Not a great pass though. Tuloy FC just mounting the pressure. Stallion having to defend. And this was passed back. Pepito just managed to get it out of his goal area. But it was in the defensive third. That's why we see Tuloy with the initiative at that point in time. But they could actually just send this out for safety. Great initiative from Ivanovsky. Tinrowin niya kaagad. At may oportunidad sila dito umatake. Pero may foul dito. Ang na-foul ay si Christian Ivanovsky ulit. So we saw Finn McDaniel getting forward. But there was that bump from Levi Sahor. Playing that holding midfielder again. Madalas yung Tuloy FC, naka 4-4-2 formation sila. Balance ang formasyon nila kapag naka 4-4-2. Pero sa ngayon, naka 3-5-2 formation ang koponan ni Coach Taki Suzuki. 3-5-2 formation favoring the midfield. We'll get with Stallions later on. Nakay Nunez, Saot. Pumiping-pong ang bola. At nakulit ni Nunez. Nunez fully utilizing his experience. And of course, we see why he was called up to the Ascals. That was last calendar year. Saot. Pumasok sa gitna kanina. Pero kita nga natin dito, dumidiskarte si Sidon Saot, ang kapatid ni Pato. John Lloyd Halike naman. This forward ball connecting on the right with Justin Lupanco. But didn't get to control it. Kita nga natin dito ang diskarte nila. So Bonanken tripping over himself, I believe, from the initial look. So a throw in to be taken by Koichi Belgira, a former U22 national team player. He did get experience in the Southeast Asian Games. Sabi dito, sabi ni Andre Martos, go Laguna. Si Grace naman, sabi niya, go Tuloy FC for the win. And here's this chance. It's picked up by Pepito. Not a problem for him. Both teams looking even, but it is just 6 minutes into this game. Binato rito sa kaliwa kay Charlie Beaton. Beaton like Koichi Belgira, a U23, U22 national team player. Charlie Beaton recently with stints with Cebu FC and Maharlika FC. Okay, Nunez, great find over to John Lloyd Halike. Nagmamadali Halike kontra Jordan Jarvis. Halike pa rin, sends in the cross, finds a man. And taken by Pato Saud, but no good. But he was wide open there. Pero mukhang ulitin nila ang goal kick dito. Lovely footwork over there from John Lloyd Halike. Halike, of course, a player with experience with the Ascals development team, alongside the likes of Harin de Gracia, Cyril Saot, Sidon Saot, at ang team captain nila si Noti Nunez. And to add, of course, to those ADT players, may mga players din ang Tuloy, nag-U17 national team din dati. And it's a great find here to Ivanovsky, one of their foreign players on the pitch. Finn McDaniel gets it deep, tried to lay it off to Aristorenas. The intention was there, but there was a man from Tuloy. Here they are in transition now, using the space to his advantage. Okay, John Lloyd Halike pa rin. Halike kontra Bonanken. Bonanken, the other foreign player on the pitch for Stallion FC. And the third and final one here for them is Abraham Placito. Looks like there's a slight collision. Tuloy slowly but surely You see they are getting confidence in this match. Lupanco. He tried to round Filonco but got clipped. Filonco also hurting himself in the process. See on the instant replay, he was just swarmed by, you can say, 4 or 5 players. Tuloy of FC players have that background in futsal, and that contributes to their technical ability, and that translates onto the pitch. As we'll get through Stallion FC's background later on. But here comes the set piece. This has to be the most dangerous opportunity of this game so far. Nunez pictured again. He has that chance to give them an early lead. Taken low. Not so sure if that was his intention. Pepito clearly up to the challenge there. He tried to spark the counter, but it was read well by De Gracia. De Gracia often a right back for them, but he is playing at center back again. The 3-5-2, of course, with different demands. And the delivery of Nunez did get to someone's boot from a Tuloy player, I believe. Looking for options. Siron Saut. Capistrano, tas binigay dito sa gitna. Both teams have displayed their ability to dictate possession. Stallion, as we saw in their previous games, did so. And when we refer to Stallion FC, they are a founding member of the Philippines Football League. They even competed back in the day at the United Football League. And they did pick up the title, of course, last decade, or they did pick up one title in the league phase. Stallion with a great number of veterans in the local circuit and their AFC Cup qualification, as Nieras takes this. Seemed off target but safety first, sabi ni Michael Antilo Jr. And Bagdaniel hustled well to keep the spell for them. Regardless, you want your shots on target. Nieras was given the chance. We see this here. Great find from Koichi from one fall back to the other, taking the shot. Nieras going for the finesse. But Michael Antilo Jr. well drilled, pero may corner kick po ang Stallion FC. Christian Ivanovsky will be making the delivery. Sends it in. It was on target but denied by the back line, right on the goal line. Great discipline from Tuloy. Pato Saut, getting past Belgira, pero nandun si Jordan Jarvis. Jarvis playing center back here, while he did introduce himself playing as a wing back in the collegiate level in the 3-5-2 of Ateneo. Jarvis, though, did play fullback and center back on occasions for United City FC, his last team here in the local level, although I do believe he played or had a stint in Hong Kong before this one. Pinasa kay Noy Filonco. Filonco kontra Siron Saut. Tuloy FC contained that well. When they're caught up in transition, Stallion managed to just choke the ball out from them. Placito Bonanken. Placito ulit. Jarvis. Ivanovsky. Nieras, but it was intercepted by Gerald Aquino, and chance now in transition. John Lloyd Halike takes it, but it is over the bar. Looks like he was trying to go for goal, but that was sure a tight angle. But great work here to find him. And when we're talking about the composition of Stallion FC, they do have a great number of veterans in the local league scene. And to add to their AFC Cup qualification, the second tier of continental football in the Asian region, they have attracted talents from overseas. And based on interviews, of course, the forces of Coach Erdinieras and team assistant coach Clint McDaniel have allowed them to get their talents from different corners of the world, particularly from the Americas. Didiskarte ang Tuloy dito sa kanan. Bilgira kontra Lupanco. There's a foul against Tuloy FC. And sorry, check that. That was Siron South. Siron South listed as a center mid here, or one of the holding midfielders. At may tanong dito, ano ang age group? This is the Copa Paulino Alcantara, which is an open tournament. Stallion Laguna FC are one of the many pro teams of the Philippines Football League competing here. Tuloy FC, an amateur squad, although kilalang-kilala ang Tuloy FC dito sa Pilipinas. Of course, the squad of Coach Taketomo Suzuki have been playing in the grassroots level for a great amount of time and thought about making the jump here. Coach Taki Suzuki did say their eyes are on turning pro one day down the line and competing in the Philippines Football League. I did get to ask Coach, of course, given that Tuloy FC, their players, o halos lahat mga player nila, nasa high school pa rin. Just one player who is studying in the university or college level, as Charlie Beaton and Capistrano were dueling for that. May goal kick po ang Tuloy. So earlier we did see Craig Bonancan step off to receive some treatment, and he is back. So 11 versus 11 po tayo ulit. At shout out kay Pat Mendoza. Good afternoon sa iyo, kuya. Ivanovsky connecting with McDaniel. Ivanovsky, I think, had the intention of lobbing that over the defense. Tuloy reading that. They'll continue their clockwork ball movement. Played through by Halike. Binigay kay Pato Saot. Cuts it back. Halike takes it. That's the opener! Tuloy FC get themselves in the driver's seat. 1-0 over Stallion FC. What a connection there. Great work in transition. Great combinations. Players getting forward to space the defense. We take a look at that again in transition. Halike, binigay kay Pato Saot. Managed to cut it back. And we did see a teammate push the back line down to keep Stallion's defense guessing. And it's John Lloyd Halike in the 17th minute. That's player number 17 scoring in the 17th minute. And that is goal number 2 for Halike in this campaign. Halike last scored in their 3-0 win over Adamson University. Tuloy FC managing to get a win over a collegiate side, Adamson, primarily play in the UAAP. And here's Stallion, of course. Gusto nila bumawi. Noy Felonco, the low cross. And I think that came off of Finn McDaniel. Goal kick ang tawag dito. Cheeky back heel from Charlie Beaton. Noy Felonco just finding Finn. Not getting a great touch there. But Felonco and Beaton doing well to create from the wing. There's some pressure now. Pato Saot. It's 2-1. Aristorenas emerges the victor. McDaniel managed to find Beaton, but the ball's overcooked here. Beaton was trying to hustle and meet that, but approves of that effort. And sabi ni Braille Rosales sa comments, Laban Stallion FC. And we have Grace and Mary cheering on Tuloy FC. Sabi ni Princess Halike, nice one. Baka kapatid to ni John Lloyd Halike. Bunanken. Jarvis. Stallion now will try to work out of this 1-0 deficit or hole. And it is the first time that they have trailed this Copa Paulino Alcantara. It is their third matchup. Tuloy playing their fourth game already. Again, the winner here will grab clear hold of second place. At may banggaan dun sa kabila. Okay, Jarvis at John Lloyd Halike. Tama, yes. But may foul dun. Looks like Jarvis was holding on to Halike. Another set piece on the further end. So earlier we did say Stallion in possession, trying to get out of this hole. If you are Tuloy FC, you want that insurance goal first. You want that cushion. Shout out din kay RM Chua. At yan na po ang ating pito. Here comes the service. Bonankin gets it, one of the tallest players. It was half cleared though. Ang kay Saot kontra Nieras. Nieras got to poke it away. Ivan Nobsky trying to play Beaton on the counter. But the Gracia had his number. Antilo. Dito daw sa kanan. Nunez finding the space. Patos out again. Playing it through. But we saw the presence of Jarvis was enough to change up the run of John Lloyd Halike. Dito naman sa kabila. Binigay kay Noy Filonco, but De Gracia had his number. Antilo binigay kay Capistrano. Tuloy working their way up again, but they will return possession to Stallion. And as we say, the next goal is the most important one. A goal for Stallion will get this game back on level terms, although no clean sheets for the keepers. A goal for Tuloy will get their second hand on the steering wheel of our driver's seat. Again, a 1-0 lead is not safe. You want that cushion if you are Tuloy. Here's a chance now under dispute. That ball was for Levi Sahor, but his teammates were there to have his back. At ngayon, nakuha ni Placito. Beaton, binalik. Let me see the pressure. Dito naman kay Jason Pepito. That pass with too much speed. Dahil dun, sa kanan naman daw. Sabi ni Mary Flores, watching from the office. Dahil Wednesday po ngayon. We have your local football to keep you company on this hump day. Malapit na po ang Friday. Finn McDaniel found Charlie Beaton. Beaton the low cross. Pero nakuha ni Antilo. Sabi ni Pau DG. Naalala ko, fan si Pau DG ng Stallion. Nice Pepito Jason ulit. As there was that low cross that was intercepted. 23 minutes and change into the first half already. In this Group C matchup of the Copa Paulino Alcantara. This is Clara Manzano on call for this match. ang inyong commentator ngayong hapon. Good afternoon sa inyong lahat. Stallion Laguna FC in pink and white, trailing against Tuloy FC. Ang Tuloy ay naka-asul at itim. That is blue and black. Tuloy again with a goal behind John Lloyd Halike in the 17th minute of the Patos Saut assist. They got to get this to Felonco. Felonco to Beaton. Binalik. No, Felonco pa rin. Felonco kontra Saut. Siren Saut to be exact. Now wide to Beaton. Belgira. Stallion, all of their 10 players or attacking players in the attacking half. And that is the equalizer, catching everyone off guard. And from the looks of it, it is Finn McDaniel. What a way to get them back in the game. And you can just see the will and determination of Laguna. And there was Koichi Belgira finding Finn McDaniel there. It's no surprise, of course, McDaniel found that goal, but with things not going their way, they snatch a bit of momentum this time around. Finn McDaniel now picking up goal number 4 in this edition of the Copa. And as a result, he is now in joint second place in the Golden Boot race or top scorers. And an assist, of course, from Koichi Belgira. 2 assists for Koichi Belgira now. Tuloy trying to escape traffic. Stallion Laguna, of course, representing the Laguna, the southern province in Luzon Island, a southern province rather. Tuloy FC, based in Alabang, Muntinlupa. Both sides relatively close to one another in terms of proximity. So McDaniel used his trickery. Tried to get it to Beaton though. But De Gracia, a tough man to beat. Na kay Jarvis naman. Stallion taking the initiative in this game. And they find Beaton. Got one touch on his head, but De Gracia was there. De Gracia with the speed to deal with a guy like Charlie Beaton. Na kay Noy Felonco makes it 2-1 now. A turn of events here. 2 goals in a span of 2 minutes for Stallion FC, showing the quality that the Philippines Football League squads have. Stallion again continued on the pressure. Noy Felonco winning it off the press, making them pay, beating the back line. Michael Antilo Jr., unfortunately, a sitting duck there. We saw he did put in the effort in hopes of getting that save. And Noy Felonco now on the score sheet for Stallion this afternoon and putting in goal number 1 for him personally this campaign. And this one played back. Ivanovsky there to trouble Antilo. At mukhang magiging indirect free kick po ito. Tuloy from the looks of it. Passed it back. Antilo picked it up. Bawal po yan kung ang pasa ay galing sa kakampi, sa goalkeeper. So we do not see this often in football. Bihira po ito. So an indirect free kick, they cannot get this shot on target right away. A player will have to get a touch of the ball to hit it sidewards or backwards, and then they will be able to put this back. So looks like a mental lapse from Antilo. Picking up the ball. Indirect free kick for Stallion FC. Tuloy again did start this game with that opener from John Lloyd Halike in the 17th minute. And we see, of course, a great number of Copa Paulino Alcantara players tuning into this live stream. So, konting shoutout muna habang inaayos po ang ating indirect free kick. Kita natin si Nano Amita. Shoutout sa iyo ulit, ang ating suki. Nano, of course, a player of KFC Iloilo. They are bound for the AFC Champions League. They will be playing in this very stadium. Stallion FC playing in the AFC Cup as a result of their third place finish in the Philippines Football League. Ang mga laro nila ay nasa Binyan Stadium, and here comes the indirect free kick. Placito drives that through the heart of the defense. And that's another goal. 3 goals in a span of 5 minutes for Stallion Laguna. We take another look here. Attacking options, McDaniel and Placito. Ivanovsky on the same page as a Placito to drive that past. So 3 goals, 3 different goal scorers for Stallion. Phil McDaniel scored in the 25th. Noy Filonco 2 minutes later. And in the 30th mark, it was Abe Placito. We saw Aristoreras getting fouled there. But this game, of course, clearly young. Tuloy FC have shown their discipline throughout this tournament. Stallion working the ball around. Again, we did say that we'd get into their 5-0 loss to Davao Aguilas UMAC. It is because they showed utmost discipline and stuck to their style of play, of keeping the ball on the ground, playing that short passing game. We see that discipline, of course, as a result of the influence of their Japanese coach in Taki Suzuki, who has been around the Philippines already for years and years. He also did steer NCRFA to the title in, or to titles in the PFF U19 back in the day, just a couple years back or so. Bunanken kay Placito. Belgira. Placito. Bunanken again. That compact Tuloy defense here, making Stallion work. So in this situation, will it be Tuloy's defense or Stallion's offense? And if you recall, kung naalala nyo, nakago lang Tuloy FC sa counter-attack dahil sa kanilang depensa. And there's a closer look at Levi Sahor playing the holding midfield position. He did score 2 goals in that 3-2 win over Philippine Army FC before James Demate gave the winner. And here was this long ball. Just placed a little or overcooked a bit. And here's Tuloy now with their press of their own. Jarvis, Nieras. Binilik kay Jarvis. Jarvis kontra Nunez at Pato Saot. Nieras, their team captain. Their captain today, as Balok Doctora continues to be injured. He did say he was injured in their friendly versus the U23 national team. The U23 national team, unfortunately, failing to advance out of the group stage and into the semifinals. As here's Ivanovsky just displaying his footwork, but it's given back now. Halike, Nieras just hustling back. Looks like there was a shove. So the foul is on Nieras. But Nieras saying that there was an elbow. So rather than a free kick, and is a corner kick, mukhang outside ang tawag, walang foul po. Last touch daw si Matt Nieras. Patos out to make the delivery. Asking for his options. Played this one over to his brother Siron. And here's Stallion trying to pounce on the counter, but De Gracia again. Na he'll trigger a counter. Offside daw ang tawag. Right intentions, of course. That would have been a golden opportunity if South was onside. It was just a bit, of course, or that fine margin that let them down. 11 minutes before additional time. It is Stallion FC leading 3-1. Tuloy FC did grab the opener behind the sensational counterattack that finished with John Lloyd Halique's goal of the Pato South assist before Stallion just put in 3 unanswered goals. There was Finn McDaniel, Noy Felonco, and Abe Placito. And here's Tuloy trying to settle this game in their favor. Both teams playing technical football, but the miscommunication between De Gracia and Levi Sahor. Tuloy pa rin hawak ang bola. But again, it is an unforced error that lets them down. The third goal of Stallion again was off an indirect free kick as Michael Antilo Jr. unfortunately handled a back pass. Hinawakan niya yung bola nung pinasa ng kakampi. Of course, keepers have to handle the ball with their feet if given a back pass from their teammate. Ito si Eugene Ariola, isang idol natin sa FEU dito sa Copa at sa UAAP. Shout out sa iyo at Gerald Estores. Sorry, nadamay ka na lang dyan. Good afternoon. Pau DG, very active in the comments, driving on Stallion FC. And here's this ball to Beaton. Flag stays down. Cuts it back to McDaniel. And the shot on target, but denied by Antilo. At ayos to comment ni Mary Flores. Learning experience yan, kids. Bata pa kayo. Kasi syempre nga, ang mga players halos ng Tuloy FC grade 12 and below. Kinlaro ni Coach Taki, may isang player lang nasa college. As McDaniel takes this, it may have taken a deflection. And it is confirmed. Finn McDaniel's shot was blocked or deflected. May corner kick po ang Stallion. And there was that shot attempt again. Tuloy FC hustling hard there. Stallion though doing great also the other end or other hand to carve out another scoring chance. Outswinging from Ivanovsky, rattled off a Tuloy defender. It appeared to be Gerald Aquino. Ivanovsky binalik kay Placito. Stallion just sniffing blood here, driving their numbers forward. They're keeping their defenders and other players forward. Si Nieras lang ang nasa likod. Here's this chance. Antilo though got his gloves to it. JJ Season at Toto, shout out mga taga San Beda University. Of course, we do have Minjola FC, the alumni team of San Beda University, we could roughly say. They do also have current San Beda players in their squad getting experience here in the Copa. Squaring off with the pros as there was that long ball earlier picked up by Pepito. It's been relatively routine for Pepito after conceding that goal. Sa ngayon, pwede natin sabihin, nakabawi ang Stallion. Pero pwede nga natin sabihin ang Tuloy. Siyempre, gusto nila bumawi rito sa kanilang kuya. As there was Noy Filongo taking a hit again in the middle. As Koichi was trying to play him. And he was clipped. At sabi ni Ramil, ba't yun? Shout out kay Jovi o Jove ba yan? So this to be taken from the center. Bonanken just set it back at binigay kay Placito. Kita nga natin dito. Hawak ng Stallion ang momentum at possession. Although Tuloy did score on the counter, they did show promising spells of holding the ball. At binato rito. Pero outside daw ang tawag, sobrang kanilang pasa. Or that pass lacking a bit of accuracy. It was down the wing. Tuloy trying to build up from the back now. 6 minutes until we get our confirmation for additional time. Here's Nieras getting one back versus South. The probing run. And Pepito just sent this ball forward. Scoring chance. The Ivanovsky cross for Finn McDaniel was denied by Harin de Gracia. What a busy man he has been again. At shout out kay JR sa Tiborso Summer League, headed by Coach John Polinar. Through ball, Ivanovsky now. Unselfish play, or maybe too unselfish. He was trying to go for Beaton. At na-foul si Noti Nunez dun. Well, great marking there from Gian Capistrano to deny that scoring chance for Beaton. So when we look at, we could say, the individuals to beat, Abu C is the top scorer of this tournament along with Yannick Tuaso, joint first place with 5 goals apiece. As McDaniel tried to take it from distance, couldn't get it on target. He was challenged to shoot. So he didn't get a great touch. Now played back by Sahor. Sahor, of course, with a different role today. Antilo kay De Gracia. De Gracia again, one of the former Ascos development team players. Nunez was going for the relay, but ran into Bonanken. As here's a shot taken. Just sent over the bar by Antilo. What a denial. And here was that taken, a rocket from Beaton. Antilo up to the challenge. And here's a corner for Stallion to be taken again on the further end. Si Coach Joel Villarino ba to? Shoutout sa'yo, Coach. Nagpapa-shoutout sa comments. Ivanovsky gives an in-swinger. Nobody meets it, though. Tuloy trying to get this going quickly. The long ball coming off of McDaniel, I believe. And as a result of that coming off of McDaniel, Antilo got to get his gloves to it. Beaton, one of the smaller Stallion players, getting that header. Came off of Ivanovsky. Aristorenas going for it now. And what a finish! A rocket from Jorel Aristorenas. making it 4-1. Now in cruise control, Jorel Aristorenas giving us a finish we will definitely not forget as he opens his account this Copa. And that goal is in the 44th minute. And we just take a look at this replay again. Given space to shoot, and he went for it. So that sense of urgency for Tuloy, given that they are down by 3 now and we are close to the halftime whistle. Taken, I believe it was a back pass, a collision, but no foul according to the referee. A man from Tuloy down. Stallion trying to trigger a counter now. And there's Beaton hitting the Jets. Nagmamadali. And gave it back to De Gracia. And that man from Tuloy appears to be okay. Try to take a closer look on who that player is. But it's back now. Stallion brewing with confidence. Ivanovsky. He has just shown that he's in a different level. Aristorenas, Finn McDaniel. 2 players closing down on him. So this ball rolled off and we have 1 minute of additional time. Ang sabi po ni Mick John Pineda dito sa ating half line. So Tuloy will try to at least get one back here right before the halftime break. Stallion, though, they are keen on racking up those goals. They want to fine-tune their offense heading to the AFC Cup. And we did have the AFC Cup draw recently where Stallion will be playing against Terengganu of Malaysia, Bali United of Indonesia, and Central Coast Mariners of Australia. As there's this counter. Pato Saot, binigay dito sa gitna, over to his brother. His brother Sidon, of course, but it was picked up by Pepito. And that is the halftime whistle in this Copa Paulino Alcantara fixture in Group C. It is Stallion Laguna FC 4 with 4 different goal scorers in Finn McDaniel, Noy Felonco, Abe Placito, and Jorel Aristorenas, while John Lloyd Aliques You are catching the continuing coverage of the 2023 Copa Paulino Alcantara in Group C action between Stallion Laguna FC and Tuloy FC. Stallion Laguna just getting back after trailing. Tuloy FC, though, did give us a fantastic team goal behind the likes of John Lloyd Halike and Patos South, as Stallion are making some changes as we see, and we'll confirm that once more.
Player number 29, Sharon Piloco, is replaced by player number 31, Christian John Schaffner. Player number 22, Koichi Gakira, replaced by player number 26, Ken Pride. And player number 7, Charlie Beaton, replaced by player number 20, Zachary Ford.
So, stepping off for Stallion at the break are Charlie Beaton, Koichi Belguera, and Noy Felonco. Ang pumasok naman po ay si Zachary Ford, Ken Pride, and Christian Schaffner. Or Schaffner, rather. As we did get to clarify the pronunciation after checking with several sources, and they sent this ball in. Stallion in their pink and white uniforms, playing from right to left. Tuloy in their blue and black, ang asul at itim. We saw their hard-nosed defense just send that out of the danger area. And you were catching this on the Facebook and YouTube pages of the Philippines Football League. Paki-like, share at subscribe na lang po. Paki-comment na rin ang inyong favorite team dito. Show your support in the comments section. Placito dito naman daw kay Jarvis. But Stallion yield possession to Tuloy momentarily. Some commentators curse. At dito naman tayo sa comments sa YouTube mismo. And I see your comment there, Quincy. Good evening to you, Quincy Camrad of Kaya FC. Ayan, JP. Sa YouTube naman tayo. So, again, to run through the goal scorers, as this is picked up by Michael Antilo Jr. again. It was John Lloyd Halike who found the opener in the 17th minute, as there is Zachary Ford hustling hard against the Tuloy back line with the likes of Capistrano. Their silence out, giving a helping hand as that holding mid. Well, that is also part of his duties. But possession returned, combinations between Aristorenas, Nieras, and Ford. But here comes Tuloy looking to unleash themselves on the counter. Back to Antilo. And yes, Finn McDaniel just releases it on time. But nervy moments for Tuloy FC. Stallion just with that team press, trying to play Ford. Ford, one of the players from Harlika last Philippines Football League season, and did jump ship to Stallion FC. Oh, and hello to Chandler and Olivia, who are tuning into this game on YouTube. Good evening to you guys from the Philippines. And here is Ivanovsky. Gives us the swinger. Tinapikatan ni Antilo. At lalabas ang bola. May throw-in ata ang Tuloy. Here's another look at that. Antilo just doing enough. Well placed by Ivanovsky, going for the back post. McDaniel, Schaffner, try to drive this in. Ivanovsky, though, connected well. Make that 5-1 now. Clear hold again of the driver's seat in this game. A game, of course, that started off in a close fought affair between the two teams, matching the others'
Goal for
possession and
Stallion
tempo.
Laguna FC.
But what a find
By
right
number
there
10, Christian
from
Ivanovsky.
Schaffner. It's Christian to Christian here. And unfortunately for Tuloy, they have to fish the ball out of their net for the 5th time already. And just to address the comments here, people looking for Jax Peña, no, he is not playing today, but just continue to watch and support Philippine football. And there's Pato Saut, who is down from the looks of it. There was Naughty Nunez trying to play his teammate, and he was pushed. So a set piece in the edge of the goalkeeper box of Stallion and Jason Pepito. Pepito busy also in this game, especially in the beginning. Afterwards, he did settle and got his groove with a great number of routine saves. Naughty Nunez, their captain, will have to lead by example here to lift them out of this hole slowly but surely, but misses the near post. Outside po ang bola rito. As we take a look at his service again. At syempre, pinipractice din nila yan. Nunez, kabila, connecting again with Pato Saut. Again, we have the Saut brothers here for Coach Taki Suzuki, the Japanese coach of Tuloy FC. Ivanovsky just trying to spring this counter for them. But he did hold the play as numbers were not in their favor. And as a result, Stallion are trying to find another opening. Placito, dito na lang daw ulit sa kanan. Was sent over by Pride to the wing. Ivanovsky. McDaniel, what a flick. That was relatively on target, but that one not, of course, catching Antilo off guard. And when we did, of course, dig into Tuloy FC, as we mentioned, they're players in high school, o halos lahat nasa high school pa po. And they have one player who is in the university ranks studying in Vincent Tabamo. As Tuloy is pretty much a boarding school setup, of course, a foundation to, of course, aid and guide children to their youth. And McDaniel gets this, tried to make a turn and finds his teammate. It sails over the bar though for Zachary Ford. Here's that unselfish play, also finding the open man. The defense collapsing on the middle on Finn McDaniel, the leading scorer of Stallion this Copa Paulino Alcantara. 4 goals to his name. The second leading scorer for them is Yuta Nomura, who has yet to see action in this game. As a bench po siya. But it's Stallion piling up the pressure. Aristorenas negotiating traffic. Ivanovsky headed out by Capistrano. And what a driving force Ivanovsky has been again with his experience playing in the Americas, particularly in South America. Zachary Ford, Nieras will try to get into the mix again. It has been mainly Stallion here coming out of the halftime break. And going back again, when we were talking about Tuloy, when we got to ask Coach Taki Suzuki if their objective is to develop players in hopes of getting them signed by professional teams or getting scholarships to collegiate squads, he did say with absolute determination their goal is to develop these players and turn pro with Tuloy FC. So let's see down the line if Tuloy will be joining the Philippines Football League, as there was that battle between Capistrano and Nieras. Looks like there was an outstretched arm. Pero corner kick ang tawag dito ni Meliton Pelayo, ang ating referee. But it was played short. Schaffner, his teammate chesting it, tried to get it on target. It was, we'll try to clarify that, man. It was Jordan Jarvis joining the attack too. It looks like Jarvis has been shifted to an attacking role as Ken Pride is now at the back with Placito and Nieras. Schaffner, a Filipino, grew up in San Francisco, and he claims his nickname is Sea Dog. We'll try to check that just to be sure. Ivanovsky was attacking on the right, but this time around on the left. Trying to switch up the wingers here, but Pride collected that. Tuloy now having to settle and go for that hard-nosed defense of theirs. They are known again for being very disciplined and staying in shape, but they do get beaten here by Ford. But Ford in turn gets denied by Antilo. A tough evening for Antilo. He did find his bearings, but this 5-hole goal, or this 5-goal hole to climb out of. And yes, earlier in the comments, Rabaya did say again, Halike scored for Tuloy. At i-recap natin ang goal scorers ulit pagkatapos nitong corner kick mula kay Ivanovsky ulit. Ivanovsky going for the back post, as we've seen earlier. Ball bouncing around. Looks like we had someone trying to go for the bicycle. It may have been Ken Pride. It was Jordan Jarvis rather again. We have a better look. Okay, so the final verdict, of course, that's Ken Pride, as we saw sa ating instant replay. And here comes our next set of substitutions dito para sa Stallion Laguna FC. At ang lalabas po doon ay si Christian Ivanovsky. At ang papasok ay si Juanito Galeana Trujillo. Isa pang lalabas ay si Jorel Aristorenas. At ang papasok ay si Rio Namura. So, still 3 foreigners on the pitch for Stallion. There's 3 players, yes. That is Craig Bonanken and A. Placito on the pitch. And then there's Rio Nakamura, who is an Asian player. There's Nieras, who was beaten. The likes of Lupanco trying to drive this now as they got it forward with Saot, Siren to be exact. Ford. Binigay kay Nakamura. But was denied by the traffic. And there's Tuloy with their technical abilities during those combinations, but that forward pass was relatively unideal. Stallion making it difficult for them. And there's their captain, Oti Nunez, driving them on. He got it to Pato Sao to try to find the likes of Halike. It was sent back to him. And here was Halike. A frustrating evening for him after finding the back of the net in the 17th minute earlier.
Player number 18, Jetta Lagino, replaced by player number 2, John Rocky Grizola.
So here comes the first roll of the dice for Tuloy FC. Rocky Grizola, one of the regular mainstays on defense for Tuloy, enters in the second half. And the man who stepped off is Gerald Aquino. We apologize for any technical difficulties that we are having. We saw Stallion getting forward in the attack. And that attempted clearance from De Gracia came off of McDaniel. Goal kick dito para sa Tuloy. We saw that dispute earlier. Ayos ang diskarte ni De Gracia dito. But sadly, Tuloy give it back. They have just been suffocated in terms of attacking spells. Now out the other Christian, of course, Schaffner. Schaffner again. Looks like he was last touched though and gave it up. There was Schaffner and Ford. Teammates in Maharlika FC, teammates in Stallion Laguna now. And it's in the middle. That attempted ball on the side, but it's gifted to Galiana Trujillo, but it sails over the bar. We've seen him score from that range already. Coming off the bench for this match, often that man on the right wing for Coach Ernie Nieras. Galiana Trujillo, a man with Division III experience over at Mexico. So just a correction, of course, on the number of foreigners for Stallion on the pitch. There are 4 now, which is within the limit. If I'm correct, you're allowed to have 4 foreigners from any continent in the world, and 1 on the field has to be Asian. So it's 4 plus 1. And here's a chance now driving the Stallion offense forward. But that ball was overcooked. And Zachary Ford was not able to meet that. And here's Tuloy again. You see the discipline. Yes, they did cause an error there. But that was committed while using or playing their style. And here's a counter. Or Tuloy was attempting to mount a counter, but it was collected by the Stallion defense. And don't you forget, of course, we do have our usual weekend fixtures dito po sa Copa Paulino Alcantara. Sa Sabado, may Philippine Air Force versus FEU at 3 p.m. Pagkatapos, sa 5:30 p.m., may Mendiola versus Tuloy FC. And to wrap up the triple header, we do have Adamson University and Stallion Laguna FC to wrap up your Saturday triple header. And we'll get through the Sunday schedule later on, as there's a counter now being mounted, led by McDaniel, finding his teammate in Ford. Ford mishit it, but finding the back of the net is Rio Nakamura. And that eventually becomes an assist courtesy of Zachary Ford. That's what you get from driving your numbers all together as a unit. And Nakamura now joining the scoring party. 6 goals for Stallion, 6 different goal scorers. Again, it was Finn McDaniel who found the opener, as Noy Filonco and Abe Placito made 3 goals in 5 minutes. Afterwards, Aristorenas, Ivanovsky, Nakamura found the back of the net. But don't you forget, of course, Tuloy FC did was with their goal on the counter, as John Lloyd Halike was the man who found the back of the net. Halike, as a result of tonight's goal, is the joint leading scorer of Tuloy alongside Levi Sahor and James Demate. And here's this ball over to Lupanco. Lupanco sent that back to Halike. Halike. Binalik. Placito though. Just a brick wall that Lupanco ran into. Kita nga natin doon ang gulang ni Lupanco, showing he's not afraid, of course, to square off with a much bigger opponent. Binanggit nga dito ni Boyet Aguilar kanina, hinahanap si Coach Toto Bedia. Bedia, a substitute for Stallion Laguna FC. Here comes Schaefer now. Storming through, looking for teammates. Cuts it back to McDaniel, denied though by Diaz. Nandito pa rin ang Stallion, atake pa rin. Tuloy recovering though. And what an effort right here, storming down behind Pato Saut. But sadly couldn't connect with his teammate up front. There's Noti Nunez showing great heart. He won that with a tackle in the heart of midfield. Of course, when we look at his bench of Tuloy, there is James Demate again. One of their goal scorers this season was yet to be utilized. You also have the likes of Archie Pabiliar, who picked up man of the match versus Adamson in their 3-0 win. And Stallion again will continue their clockwork passing here. As we run through the standings for Group C, Davao Aguilas UMAC topped the table after finishing all 5 games in Group C play with 10 points. 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. As Antilo just escaped forward, intercepted by Bonanken. Getting it to Ford now. Flag stays down. The keeper did get a touch though to deny it but couldn't secure. So the fire's still alive here. Punanken. Hinahanap si Schaefer pero wala. Nakuha ng depensa ng Tuloy. So again, we run through the standings of Group C. Behind Davao Aguilas UMAC are Stallion Laguna FC and Tuloy FC, 6 points each. Stallion though only playing their 3rd game tonight. Tuloy playing their 4th already. So should Stallion pick up the win, they will be in solo 2nd place. Tuloy will remain in 3rd with 6. And in 4th place for Group C is Mindiola with 1 win and 2 draws, good for 5 points. Army FC are eliminated alongside Adamson University, although Adamson do have 1 more match to play and will look to finish strong versus Stallion. Army with 3 points and are provisionally in 5th place. Dito po sa Group C ulit. Ito ulit si Nakamura. He did score the last goal for them off the Ford assist. And McDaniel just displaying his footwork. Ken Pride from defense trying to help out in the attack. Nunez. Nunez again, the captain and the man to lead Tuloy with his experience. He did pick up international caps with the Ascals, the senior national team. Nunez also did compete in the recent AFF U23 championship. Experience picked up again for him despite the Philippines failing to advance to the knockout stages, as Tuloy win this set piece for them. Great step overs from Lupanco. Sinugod na lang ate ni Nakamura. At dito na lang tayo ulit sa comments sa Facebook. Check nga natin ulit. So another set piece for Tuloy and Nunez, the designated man. In what has been a difficult evening for them. Pero sabi nga kanina sa comments, learning experience ito. Tama naman talaga. Tuloy again, a young squad, virtually all high schoolers, or all high schoolers save for one player. And we can see that in the height difference, but Tuloy again are well drilled and have that great technical ability, but sadly they don't connect here. High ball's not favoring them, as Stallion have the height advantage, but they won that corner. They opted to play short. Kasi pabor nga ang mga matangkad sa mga corner kick at cross. But Nunez got this. When we look at last weekend's results, we did have Menjola defeat Army 1-0 behind the goal of Gel Season. Kaya with a statement 9-1 victory over Philippine Air Force. Abu C, Harvey Gayoso, and Daizo Horikoshi did pick up 2 goals each to lead the way. And we did see Stallion defeat Davao Aguilas UMAC 4-0 behind the brace from Yuta Nomura. And A. Placito added a late goal of his own. There was also Cebu FC defeating Manila Digger. That was a game from Cebu that saw them rack up 4 goals and with 4 different goal scorers. As we see possession set to return to Stallion. Play back underway courtesy of Nieras. And in that game again of Cebu, it was 4-1 over Manila Digger. Arda Chunker in his continuing return to the Philippine scene found the first goal. And then there was Rintaro Hama, King Miyagi, and Goktug Demiroglu finding the back of the net, and it was Kobe Stewart who found the consolation for Manila Digger. And the last result of the weekend was Maharlika Manila defeating the University of the Philippines 1-0 behind Ibrahima Indur. Maharlika Indur have been on a tear in Copa Paulino Alcantara action in Group B. Maharlika leading or topping Group B with 7 points after 2 wins and 1 draw. Nunez, the cheeky back heel over to Halike. The combinations again, the team play, but the loose pass. Nakamura intercepted it and won the foul. And here was that spell. Sabi nga ni Rally Magnaye, heads up Tuloy. Sabi nga, great experience and they will be fighting to the end. And that is something Tuloy did show us in their tough defeat to Davao Aguilas UMAC. Fighting till the end, sticking true to their style of play, keeping the ball on the ground. Their utmost discipline for the boys from Alabang Muntinlupa. And a chance now to cut back. They do so. McDaniel skies this ball though. And that was the cutback from Galeana Trujillo, the Mexican. And here was a closer look at that. Lupanco. They're trying to switch it. De Gracia. Tuloy, as of late, in this second half, struggling to get the ball forward in hopes of getting a scoring opportunity. And Stallion in cruise control. And it is impending they will take this win unless Tuloy spring a comeback. That will be similar to that of a miracle. Halike. Ang kanilang striker tumutulong na rin dito sa midfield. Pato South. His play on the wing is a bright spot for them in this game as they carve out this wave. It was sent out. Throw in daw para sa Tuloy. But before we continue, or play will continue first before we carry on with our substitution for Stallion FC. It is Charles Pickering who will enter the game. Nunez. Dito naman. It was with Diaz. Diaz was shifted to the back here.
Substitution for
And
Stallion
checking in
Laguna FC.
is Charles
Player number 20,
Pickering.
Zachary Ford, replaced
But
by
coming off is Zachary Ford, who
Charles
entered as a
Pickering.
sub. So the rare instance you see the substitute being subbed off also in the same game. So Ford getting about 30 minutes. In comes Charles Pickering in his natural position, which is in the attacking end. Pickering did play fullback for Stallion in the first half of the Philippines Football League season. He did get to square off and hold his own against Stefan Schrack in that Stallion win in the first round. But Pickering was whistled for that foul against the Tuloy player. Pickering also had a loan spell with the Ascal's development team in the second half of the PFL, but here he is now, back with his mother club. Halike tried to find the on-rushing man. Pero nakuha ng depensa ng Stallion, Bonanken, Nieras. So that clean sheet definitely ruled out for Stallion Laguna FC, but they more than made up for it with this 6-1 scoreline and counting should they find the goal again, or if Tuloy can spring one back. And we love the support for Tuloy FC here. Madaming tao dito sa comments, sinasabi nga, learning experience nga. It is a good one for them. Huwag niyo kalimutan, mga bata po, mga player ng Tuloy FC at ang Stallion ay professional team po. Siren Saot. And we have Karam Chaduri saying, bring on Beaton. Beaton actually was subbed off at halftime. Halike now showing his playmaking ability of sorts. Noti Nunez here was fouled. 13 minutes remaining until additional time in the second half. Stallion in cruise control. John Lloyd Halike coming off the strong start of Tuloy. Found the opener in the 17th minute as Placito sent that away. But that was right before we had a barrage of goals from the crew of Stallion, all picking up one goal each. There was Finn McDaniel, Noy Filonco, Abe Placito, Jorel Aristorenas, Christian Ivanovsky, at si Rio Nakamura. Antilo though, having to beat or contain McDaniel, desperately sent it out. May throw-in po ang Stallion. Well, check that. Looks like they kept it in. Nieras now joining from left center back. Some shirt pulling. But that is a corner from the looks of it. Well, let's try to take a closer look. Tugging from Lupanco, but he was last touch. And Karam Chowdhury saying, and he grew up with Beaton in England. Beaton, of course, was subbed off earlier in the game. With a Filipino mother, but grew up in England. A former Watford Academy player. But here's a look at Juanito Galeana Trujillo. Galeana Trujillo again. Coming on as a sub. He has 2 goals this season. And there's the header by Pickering, sent in though by Placito from the looks of it. And it's 7-1. Placito, his second of the evening. Well, it looks like Coach Ernie Nieras wasn't happy with that. Hey, Placito doing some explaining to him. Or looks like it is more of them communicating, but there's Galiana Trujillo finding Pickering. Pickering assisting the goal of A. Placito. So it was Galiana Trujillo with the corner, finding Charles Pickering for the assist. A. Placito finding the back of the net. And sorry, check that earlier, the position of Matt Nieras. It is the left back position, not left center back. Ang Stallion nga ulit ay naka 4-3-3 formation po. Ang Tuloy ay naka 3-5-2 ngayong gabi. Madalas nakita natin nagka 4-4-2 po sila. And here was that ball forward. But it is a corner picked up for the squad of Coach Takitomo Suzuki. Pero may substitution po muna ang Tuloy FC. And we've got Justin Lupanco stepping off. And in comes Denmark Orakoy. Tuloy again with their players, all based, or Tuloy of course, the football team is from the Tuloy sa Don Bosco Foundation. Their players living and studying under that boarding school setup. And they do have a futsal background, which explains their technical ability. And of course, they opted to make the big leap here to the Copa Paulino Alcantara. Tuloy with 2 wins and 1 loss. As that chance close but not quite for them. So 2 wins and a loss for Tuloy, but should they fail to pull off a miracle here, that's 2 losses now. Close but not quite to finding John Lloyd Halike. So what is very interesting is that Placito will be taking this goal kick for Jason Pepito, something we do not see very often from professional teams. At mukhang may yellow card po si Placito. At naging warning mula kay referee Meliton Pelayo. Ay, kung i-recap natin ang match officials, ang assistant referees ni Meliton Pelayo ay sila Paul Galicia at Ryan Colores. As McDaniel gets this 3 men to beat, gave it to Pickering. Pickering pa rin. Sends it in! Charles Pickering opening his account this evening and in this campaign. Pickering, of course, grew up in the Philippines but had a stint in Thailand over the course of the COVID-19 pandemic to accelerate his football education. You see the unselfish play from McDaniel finding Charles Pickering. And Stallion will be making another change here for Tuloy. Kick this off again.
Replaced by player number 24, Joel Juan Medina.
So it looks like Placito is slow to get off the pitch. And got another warning from referee Meliton Pelayo. Slow to get off and has removed his shin guards. We are not sure what he's being hobbled by. But stepping in is an attacking player in Toto Bedia. Kita nga natin kanina sa comments, hinahanap niyo si Coach Toto o ang coach niyo. And here comes Toto Bedia. Speaking of Toto Bedia, of course, a regular spark plug for Stallion coming off the bench. He did give Laguna a late goal in that close-fought 1-0 victory over the much-improved Maharlika FC side in the PFL. And that goal of Bedia was literally at the death in additional time of the second half. McDaniel got this. He did display his ball control, but had no teammate to find. Here comes Bedia, first touches of the game. Binato kay Galiana Trujillo. Trying to dance through. Denied by Antilo. But McDaniel with the header. Looks like it was sent out at the goal line. You love that effort from Tuloy, despite the tough circumstances. And again, we have that effort from them and discipline. And there was that attempt from McDaniel, cleared on the goal line, or at the goal line, by Gian Capistrano, who's had a busy evening playing on defense. You're catching the stream again between Stallion FC and Tuloy FC on the Facebook and YouTube pages of the Philippines Football League. Paki-like at share ang ating stream. Paki-subscribe sa YouTube page. At paki-like ang ating Facebook account. As Schaffner was trying to wiggle past Diaz. And this is Clara Manzano on call for this match. This is Group C action again in the Copa Paulino Alcantara. At huwag nyo rin kalimutan ang ating national team schedule coming up in the succeeding weeks. We do have the AFC U23 competition, and do stay tuned for more announcements and details. Also in September, the Ascals will be traveling to Chinese Taipei to take them on in a friendly. Afterwards, they will head home to face Afghanistan dito sa Rizal Memorial Stadium. The Ascals, of course, getting friendlies under Coach Michael Weiss, as they will eventually have the World Cup qualifiers later this calendar year. At yung Filipinas naman, may Asian Games this September as they try to find Nakamura. But Galiana Trujillo gets this, and it is shy though of the goal. Now here's another look at that. Nakamura finding Juanito Galiana on the right, but it's no good. Sa October po, may laro ulit ang Filipinas. Ang second round ng Olympic qualifiers. They will be competing in Australia. And there was that foul from Toto Bedia. This ball up for grabs now. It was secured by Siron Saot. But here's a foul against Tuloy FC. And that just summarizes this difficult evening for them. So this result seems to be done and dusted except for the final score, which Stallion and Tuloy will dispute, as there's another save. But a goal off the rebound from Toto Bedia from the looks of it. Getting the rebound off McDaniel's shot that was denied by Antilo. Sadly for Tuloy, no defender to clean up. So McDaniel got out on target, but it was Bedia from the looks of it, just hustling. Let's try to clarify, of course. Well, the correction there, it is Rio Nakamura finding his second goal of the evening now. He and A. Placito, the leading scorers for the night. And play resumed again. And this scoreline, of course, emulates the second biggest scoring output this Copa Paulino Alcantara. Kaya FC Iloilo did defeat Philippine Air Force 9-1. We also got to see Kaya FC defeat Gareli United 11-0 in what is the biggest scoreline in this tournament. So this one, a Stallion emulating the second biggest scoreline. And the time continues to tick, of course. Tuloy would love to at least get one back. For Stallion, they want the second half clean sheet. John Lloyd Haliki again opened the scoring of that Pato Saut assist. But after that, Tuloy, unfortunately, were unable to grasp onto their momentum. The likes of Capistrano try to get out of the back. And they do so, of course, again, displaying that discipline again. Clearly down, but sticking to that style of play. And if they're going down fighting. And 2 minutes of additional time, as our fourth official, Mick John Pineda, confirmed. And here's that chance now, Halike. Getting it on the left, the low cross. Sent to safety though by Ken Pride. If you are Jason Pepito, you'd have to love that effort from your defender. And from the looks of it, we do have the likes of Eric Galiantes and Kaja Mirol in the grandstand catching the action. As Tuloy are trying to spring this again. The ball in. They try to storm through. They send it, but it is off target, sadly, for Denmark Urakoy. But to be precise, there was a Stallion player getting a touch. It rolled off of Jordan Jarvis. And here's that corner again. The cross. Off target, sadly. At mukhang uulitin po ang goal kick na yun. Jason Pepito was trying to find his teammates up front. So 30 seconds away from the second, or 30 seconds away from hitting the second minute already of additional time. But what a turn right there. It looks like it was from De Gracia, and that is confirmed now. Their center back joining. But what a long ball here from Harin, finding his teammate. The shot taken! And it is denied though. What an attempt. The long ball finding John Lloyd Halike. Would that turned out to be the second to the last kick of the game, as that is the full-time score. Stallion Laguna started this game on the back foot. Tuloy FC, we could say, grabbed that opportunity in the counter by the horns. John Lloyd Halike again continuing to prove himself. He gave the opener, but goals from Finn McDaniel, Noy Filonco, 2 from Abe Placito, 1 from Jorel Aristorenas, 1 from Christian Ivanovsky. There was Rio Nakamura giving 2 of his own, and Charles Pickering adding 1 to the party to make it 9. 9 unanswered goals after John Lloyd Halike did find the back of the net of the Pato Saut assist. And this game started off, both teams had their turns dictating possession and tried to break down the other's defense. And here was the play from Saut finding the opener. Sensational there from the crew of Coach Taketomo Suzuki. But sadly for them, it will be the long trip back home to Muntinlupa, where they are based. Although it was a difficult result, other than that goal of Halike, a bright spot for them definitely was the stellar play from Pato Saut on the left wing. And there was also Noti Nunez showing his technical ability playing center mid, proving and showing us why he was named to the Ascals team back last calendar. And there was Finn McDaniel's goal, the opener for Stallion actually, or their first goal that they pulled back. And that just triggered this barrage from Laguna. Stallion in pink and white, of course, had no stopping afterwards, and they pounced on this indirect free kick. Ivanovsky got play underway, and A. Placito just drilled it home. And there was Charlie Beaton, of course, who played the first half for them, and he did stretch out the defense too. And Stallion, of course, carried on their team play in this game as they are fine-tuning themselves to compete in the AFC Cup, or the Asian Football Confederation Cup. Aristorenos and Beaton, two former teammates back in the day, or two teammates also when they were with Loyola and Global. And they are together once more in Stallion. And there was Aristorenos with that rocket in the 44th minute to make it 4-0 for them, actually. But Tuloy, as we know, disciplined as ever, and continued to fight hard. They went down in this game, definitely, but they went down fighting. But there was Christian Ivanovsky scoring in the 50th minute. But here was Naughty Nunez trying to lift them up with their set pieces, of course, but sadly, it did not really go their way. And Stallion also with the advantage in terms of height, and made Tuloy work double time. And there was Zachary Ford sending it over the bar. Ford again, one of those guys coming off the bench. And Ivanovsky busy too with his corner kicks. And there was Pride trying to join the party, but couldn't do so in this game. Stallion again move up to 9 points and are in second place, but they do have 2 matches on hand versus Davao Aguilas UMAC, who are on top of the table in Group C and have played all 5 matches. And there was Rio Nakamura finding one of his 2 goals. And Zachary Ford's attempt was saved by the keeper. For Tuloy FC, of course, they are in 3rd place, but breathing down their neck is PFL side Mindiola FC with 5 points. Don't you forget the top two teams here, as Placito got goal number 2 there. The top 2 teams will advance to the quarterfinals, which will be played over 2 legs, just like the semifinals. The top 2 teams from each group, Group A, Group B, and Group C. As there was the other goal, courtesy of Charles Pickering in the 83rd. And of course, the three third placers will be ranked all together, as there was this goal line save from Capistrano showing heart. The 3 third placers will get the results, of course, pitted against one another, with the top 2 making it. So the 2 best third placers will be advancing to take that wild card spot in the quarterfinals, as that was the second goal of Rio Nakamura, their Asian player, or one of their Asian players, of course. Tuloy, though, this was a fantastic opportunity. Halike met that ball that was played over by Haren de Gracia, but that proved to be the final attacking spell for them. Tuloy can hold themselves high with their performance. Although it was a difficult evening, of course, a lot of great things to see, given that they're a very young team. But that does it for this match. It is Stallion Laguna FC 9, Tuloy FC 1. Wrapping up this coverage on this Wednesday evening at the Rizal Memorial Stadium, as you got to catch this match on the Facebook and YouTube pages of the PFL. And in behalf of our crew, Direct David Chot Diaz, cameraman Renato Molano, and Jason Maestre, this was Clara Manzano on call for this match. See you, good night, take care, at kita-kits tayo this weekend dito po ulit sa Copa Paulino, Alcantara.